Hello, welcome to another Sims 4 video. We are going to get into the speed build in just a second. What you are seeing on the screen right now is me scrolling through all of the achievements that you can get in The Sims 4. Now, I know that I personally did not know that there was a button to actually access these achievements, so I'm sure there are other people that didn't know that, or people who had forgotten. If you go up to the three dots at the top corner and you look down towards the lower half of the menu that pops up, it very clearly says achievements. I don't know how I missed that after all this time, but there you have it. The Alphabet Legacy is the one that piqued my interest and sort of gave rise to this series that I've created. So let's get into this speed build for this house for my legacy challenge, and I'll explain it a lot better. So the backstory on the house itself is I originally bulldozed Streamlet Single and put Grace there, and I very deeply regretted it very quickly afterwards. I know I could have put the Streamlet Single house elsewhere in my world and still had a version of it, but I don't know, I tend to be a painfully sentimental and nostalgic kind of person. And as much as Grace is like my comfort slash mascot sim, my go to sim for basically everything I do, Streamlet Single is, in my mind, her house. It's her lot. And especially the pink and white version that I have there now, but also a couple of other versions that were very similar to the pink and white version. It's her house. Like, that's hers. It belongs to her. I just hit the table. I'm sorry. I hope you didn't hear that very loudly. But, anyways, it's hers. It belongs to her in my mind. And so, um, it did not occur to me that I should maybe just recreate Streamlet Single as we were playing. I'm dumb, I know. I should have left Grace and Subasa on that lot. I should have built them Streamlet Single once they had the money to build a house, but I did not. I did not think that way for some reason. My brain did not go there with that, which was incredibly dumb of me, I know. Instead, I built that monstrosity that you have been seeing in recent episodes, and everything that could go wrong did go wrong in the building of that house. The idea was I was going to add on to and renovate that house as time went on and as Grace and Subasa earned more and more money. But frankly, that was taking too long, and I absolutely hated that house. It was an awful, awful, like, base starting of a house. It just was terrible, and I hated it, and I could not stand playing in it any longer. I needed to bulldoze it and start over. Hence, this new house. I also lost all of the footage as well as accidentally deleting Grace's collection. So I lost all of that in the creating of that house. That house was cursed from the moment I decided to do it. So yeah, I wanted to get rid of it and start over. Hence the new house for the legacy. If you want this house, I can upload it to the gallery. I specifically built it with this family and this legacy in mind, though. So it's got a lot of stuff that belongs to this family in it. But if you want it, I'd be more than happy to upload it to the gallery. So about the legacy challenge itself, like I said, the 26th generation achievement kind of piqued my interest. At the time that I saw that, I was almost certain that The Sims 4 was nearing the end of its life cycle. All the signs were there. Maxis has a very distinct style of operation, and with every iteration of The Sims, when one is nearing the end of its life cycle, they start doing a lot of $1 and $5 content that you can download for the game. And once they announced $5 kits, I knew that The Sims 4 was coming to an end. Now, they say that The Sims 4 will continue on for years to come. Years can literally mean anything. I have very little doubt in my mind that once Project Renee is released, if it is anything remotely similar to what would be the next iteration of Sims game in the series, then I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever that slowly in the first, like, probably 2 or 3 years after Project Renee is released, they will stop making content for The Sims 4. And I mean, that still probably gives you anywhere from 4 to 5, maybe 6 at the most years worth of Sims 4 content from now. But based on everything I'm seeing and hearing and everything they've done in the past, I don't see them producing content for The Sims 4 indefinitely forever. I mean, as of 2024, it's already gonna be a 10-year-old game. It probably can't last much longer than that, in all honesty. But those are just my feelings, thoughts, opinions, and theories based on my experiences in the Sims community since the year 2000. I could be completely off a base for all I know. The point is that's how I was feeling at the time that kits were announced, and at that time I had discovered that there was an Alphabet Legacy challenge of getting to at least 26 generations. Now, I didn't know that there was also an achievement for getting to 100 generations. Otherwise, I might have made that one potentially. But I saw the Alphabet one first, and that got me thinking, if The Sims 4 really does end in the next couple of years from that point, which I think was a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that. I think it was a year ago. So my thinking was, if The Sims 4 really does end some point in the very near future, I'm probably going to have, for the fourth time, not experienced everything that the game has to offer. And that's kind of sad and pathetic, because I've done that with the first 3 games already. Game 1, not as much, because I didn't have a life at the time. Well, no, I was babysitting my niece, who was a toddler at the time, so I did have some responsibility. But I basically played The Sims 1 from the time I woke up in the morning until the time I went to bed at night. And I did with The Sims 2 as well, but once I hit The Sims 2, my play style kind of got shoved into this little box, and I couldn't get out of that box. And so there were so many things that I realized once The Sims 3 came out, I never experienced. And I was even still learning about things from The Sims 1, the original Sims, that I had never even known were in the game and had not experienced by the time The Sims 3 came out. So, because, like I said, I tend to have this one specific way of playing, and I get stuck in that way and I don't change. So I end up leaving that game having never experienced everything in it. I did not want that to happen for a fourth time. So I thought, let's make this a very long legacy challenge. And the rules were very, very simple. Start with around $2,000. Zero to five, I think, is what was in my head. But I started, I think, with 2,000. Start on an empty lot with a basically like a shack, I guess, for lack of a better term to call it. A young adult single sim, and every generation has to, the heir or the main character, if you will, of that generation, or in this case, the founder, has to max out her aspiration, has to max out their first chosen career, has to collect all items in at least one collection set. And I think those were the only rules. If I'm forgetting something, you'll have to remind me in the comments, but I think those were the only rule. Oh no, the last rule was that no two Sims in adjoining generations could live in the same neighborhood. So each generation has to at least live in a different neighborhood if they're going to live in the same world, or they have to live in a different world. And we have to get through all of the worlds before the 26 generations. Those were the rules. But the idea behind it was, let's just experience everything in the game. Let's do everything. Let's do all the traits. Let's do all the careers. Let's do everything. By having 26 generations and forcing each generation to live in a different area, in a different world, you are opening up that opportunity to you to see and explore and hear about and find things in the game you might not have otherwise. And so I wanted to force myself to get out of my one single playing box and just experience the entirety of the game. And that's what this series is about. I hope I explained it a little bit better and more fully this time than I did in the first episode. I do have a Discord server. It is linked down below. You can join it, and I am keeping track of the legacy there. I just looked and I did do a fairly good job at explaining the ideas and thoughts behind this challenge, as well as its main rules that have to be followed on the Discord. So go down to the description down below and click on my Discord link and join that. And you should, like, the actual, like, listing of episodes and stuff where everything happens isn't up to date, but the rules and everything are very, very accurate to how I'm playing. So you should check that out. And let's get into the screenshot. This is first and foremost a legacy challenge house, so it is sparsely landscaped, sparsely decorated, cheap, bad furniture and stuff, mostly for the most part. Not a lot of stuff going on in the bedrooms or anything, because it's not one of my usual speed builds. It is for the legacy, so if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!